Chest is actually going 1 inch this way and your hip's going 1 inch that way. If I'm starting over here like this, and then I'm turning from that spot right there, when I back out of it, everything typically wants to go across the ball.
Yeah, that's
it is. The end result's your shoulder gets at least to this line or behind it, like this. Yeah, if you guys haven't figured out by now, this isn't Riley's first sport.
Yeah.
This guy's a professional skater, Riley Hawk. Guy's the man. But I love how much you love golf, dude.
Yeah, I do.
let's get it here. Let's just get right to it, okay? Come on, let's go over here. Here's what it boils down to. We know this. The divots are going dead left, right?
Yep.
And we want to get rid of the glancing below. Now, one of the things that's important, okay, when you bump your hips, it's very important that we understand the purpose of that hip bump is to properly get the lower body set, and the upper body, the relationship the upper body has to the lower body is very important. A lot of people do exactly what you're doing, which is everything is bumping forward, okay? So you're already ahead of the golf ball before you even swing. You know, you look at where Mark is here with just an 8-iron, right? I always show this video because it's a great point of reference. You know, think about it like this. Now, when I bump my hips, if I leave this dead still and just shift my hips forward, I got two things for you there. All we're doing is keeping the hips square. And the great checkpoint that Mike and I have recently come up with is all we tell our players, keep the right hip on the inside of the right foot. So if I drew a line straight down right here, you guys can see right here, you know, look at how his right hip is right on the inside of the right foot. Now, what that does is that creates this brace, right? And what it also does is it creates a more posted up lead leg. Here's what it does to the upper body. When I bump forward without moving my sternum, it creates what we call a secondary tilt, right?
Yep.
That lets you turn behind the golf ball. Yeah. There's a big point to why you want to turn behind the golf ball here, ready? So when I'm in this position, when he's in this position here, and he has his spine angle set, and he has that brace right there, you watch how, here's the ball right here. Look at these lines, how he just maintains that. Isn't that awesome right there?
Yeah.
So here's why this is so important. And this is what we started doing really well in our first lesson. We got this turn dialed in to where your chest was hitting the inside of your back foot. Remember, I always had you hold the club across your chest and do the drill? That loads all the pressure there. Now, something I want you to understand, and I thought this would be helpful. Here you are, a professional skater. You use your feet all the time. Today your ankles are all busted up, but
they're working though.
They're working though, right? Good. But here's what I want you to know about this. When he sets up here like this, he already has pressure built right here.
Got it.
So when he turns, he's just adding pressure to where it already exists.
Yep.
Okay, so when we look at where you are in comparison to the golf ball and where he is, okay, you're gonna have to make some moves to get back behind it. Let's see what you do. You were taught not to do that, okay? So what you did well? You turned well from the position that you started in.
Yep.
Unfortunately, your body's way too out ahead of the ball. Your weight's way on your front foot, so guess what's gonna have to happen? You're gonna have to almost hit it off your back foot there. Do you see that, how you go a little bit up and back? Okay, and that right there, when you watch him, he can move into that ball, look at that, without ever getting ahead of it. So here's the big thing. If I'm starting over here like this, and then I'm turning from that spot right there, right? Well, guess what? When I back out of it, everything typically wants to go across the ball that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing every time.
Just glancing it, right? Just kind of like that. Here's what we want. We want to be here and be able to move into that ball and really trap it, okay? That's what we did really well on the range that last time you were here. So watch the lower body here.
Yep.
Okay. So
open it up so much.
Exactly. So that's where last time what we did really well was we kept your right knee very flexed.
Yep.
And we just had you understand that all you were doing was, from this perspective here, right hip on the inside, you had the spine angle, had the square shoulders. You kept this knee flexed and you turned your chest right into that flexed knee. From the down the line view, that looks like this. A lot less daylight between the legs. Now, one thing that's really interesting about a golfer's right knee and people don't take a look at this too much. They think turn, and then they think turn, and they turn from their right knee, right hip, and right shoulder. The best golfers in the world only turn from their right hip and their right shoulder. If you were to watch him right here, I'm going to draw a line on his kneecap. Watch how far his knee moves back. It literally only goes an inch back to the top of the swing.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't move at all. So when you were to look, and I'm going to show you one more example here. Here's a swing taken to me a couple years ago. And, you know, it's funny, I actually have that line drawn, the right knee there. That's right on my right knee. The other one's my left knee in front of it. And you're going to see, I mean, look at the top of the swing.
Yeah.
My knee is barely moved back right there. Okay, now, what's the purpose of that? Well, that allows you to feel some ground pressure. You know, I have to imagine, man, it's back in the day when I used to try to do an ollie, you know, and stuff like that. Like, if I'm doing it with straight knees,
for sure,
it's just not happening, man. You know, so you're probably getting into that, using the ground, using that. So the same thing's the truth here. If this is straightening out, there's just nowhere to push off and get some power through the golf ball with your lower body. So I want to see this knee really remain flexed. Look how the pocket and the shoulder both turn. Okay, my dad always told me, from here down, it's in cement. From here up is where you're turning.
Got it.
Okay, now from here, what's great is you're going to be able to now push from the inside of your right foot to open up that lead hip. And as you open up that lead hip, look at my right shoulder, it comes through, and you're going to be able to cover the golf ball from being in the right spot back here. Boom. All right, so because you've over-rotated here, you can't turn anymore.
Yep.
So what happens? Lift, 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 lift.
Come across.
And you can see, this is already going in an opposite direction than your hands are. They're going up. Look at this. They're going up. Your body's already going forward.
Yeah, that's
and that's where you're going to start going across the golf ball. It's going to feel for for somebody who has it all going this way, if this is a neutral position, your chest is actually going 1 inch this way and your hips going 1 inch that way. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. From there, get back to this feel. So get on the white line like you did last time. Do just exactly.
With the inside foot
with the
here.
drill. Club across the chest. Yeah, and then just bump that hip. There you go. And remember, this was the big move. Right knee flexed. That was your feel. Now you can feel that pocket turn. Feel the pocket and the shoulder turn without, yes. There you go. So Riley, the big thing is like this. Watch how I won't restrict it. I'll let this bad boy, like if Mike's over here, Mike, go hook your finger in here and pull me back, ready? So watch this. We used to just players all the time, ready? Go. See that?
Yep.
I turned a lot, but if you were to look from this perspective here, go ahead and do it again, Mike. See how the knee's still flexed?
Yeah.
So that's what I want you to still do. I don't want you thinking flex and then pocket doesn't move.
Got it.
You know, it's just these two are turning, this guy stays flexed. There it is. The end result's your shoulder gets at least to this line or behind it, like this. So let's see you do that a couple more times there. I just want to make sure you got this because this was a huge game changer for you first session.
So,
there it is. There we go. Ready? Go ahead and set it. And I'm just going to go. Ready? Here it goes. You feel that?
mm-hmm.
There it is right there. That's the feeling. If my shoulder can get to this line effortlessly, here's what happens. It means my setup's in the right spot. Think about this. If I set up like you did earlier,
Yep.
and I turn, my shoulder can't get there.
Got it.
So for me to have that in place, that right hip on the inside of the right foot, this unlocks the ability to turn. People who set up with it out here, no chance, okay? They have to like literally spin their body. So being here is big, but it's important to understand that this didn't move forward with it. So I'm in this position, and then here we go. Boom. If I go down, I stay over here as well. See that?
Yeah.
So I want to be right around. Right around. There it is.
So it's almost like the left shoulder drops and the right shoulder comes up.
And that's what I want you to be careful with. Like, so your spine angle's here.
Yep.
You don't want to drop the shoulder plane to where your spine angle's changing.
Got it.
So it really, what it is for you, bud, it's much more around. Do you feel that right there? Yeah, it's pointed somewhat down, but it's really above the ball. It's not down to the ball. Around. There it is, buddy.
The left shoulder stays and just rotates.
Exactly. It's like really getting under and past your chin. My dad always told me, this was my main thought, and I play golf with this thought every day. He told me, just get this shoulder behind your chin. And that was always what I worked on. But if you can look, watch my head. Here's what down shoulders do.
Yeah.
Most people turn down towards the ball and they lose their spine angle and then they have to bounce up on their toes through impact. I don't want that because that's already something we do.
Yep.
So it's like just flex, pocket, shoulder, right around. All right?
I'm sure with my legs straightening out too, that makes me drop this even more.
That's 100% what happens, by the way. And I want people to know that that's what Riley just said is a total chain reaction, and Mike and I see this all the time. We see this move here. This locks out, this shoulder drops, and it looks like this. And guess we have nowhere to go, but guess what happens? This shoots forward,
Yep.
and then the body goes straight up at
That's
it.
exactly what.
That's exactly what happens, and it's just impossible to be consistent. Different, huh?
Yeah.
It's awesome, brother. Round. You throw the X factor on top of it. The X factor for you is, it's like, hey, I got to ask you. Simple ollie.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it go higher than, I get in there. I remember as a kid, I used to work on it all the time.
Yep.
I'd get like 6 inches up there, then all of a sudden one day I hit almost a foot, and I was like just
Yeah.
ecstatic. Well, what are you doing more,
Yeah, more bend. I mean, in the back foot, whatever it is, and then you're
Popping, right?
exploding off of that.
So my whole point is there's an X factor to it,
Yeah.
right? Okay. When you're in here, the X factor for you is going to be you blending this arms and hands motion that immediately is going to help you hit the ball better. What takes it to the next level and gets the most out of your golf swing is you understanding what it's like to coil your upper body and how coiling your upper body loads your lower body. And what I mean by that is this. The coil is simple to understand. You preset, it's the shoulders moving right around the spine. There it is. That's the coil. Now, when you keep this flex and you turn from here and here, there's the load. The pressure's already in there. The pressure's loading up the inside of my leg, in my glute. I feel it light up.
Yep.
And that's where the combination of that happening with your arms and hands knowing what they're doing, it's going to give it the pop. Oh, dude. Here we go.
Okay.
We break it down into what happens below the belt, above the belt, and what your arms and hands do relative to that. 3 things, okay? So, lower body. Hey, right hip inside the right foot. Right knee flexed as the pocket turns back. That's lower body. Upper body's an easy one.
Yep.
It's just, hey, turn around your spine.
Yep.
Get the left shoulder over to your right foot. What we mean by that is not down to your right foot, because then it ends up staying over here. Just over, if I was pointing it, it's over there, right? At Porzak Golf, we take a lot of pride in having developed some of the best and most consistent golf swings on the planet. We do this through simplicity. Our Full Swing Masterclass will take you on a step-by-step, easy-to-understand process on how to get your golf swing better than ever. Join the many before you who've utilized our Full Swing Masterclass to take their games to the next level and beyond.